Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's get right on down to it and let's get started with this dinner. This video will not contain a whole lot of talking. What's on the menu is spaghetti, and then I will be making a pineapple upside down cake. Okay, this is my water for my pasta. So I am going to over salt my water and el dente on my pasta. Why? Because it's going to be cooked twice. Okay, so now that that pan there is already oiled, let's go in and let's add in some olive oil and let's start to sauteing our vegetables. Okay. I like to take a big knife and I like to just, I have several things going on over here at one time, so just pay attention to the steps. Okay, so this water here is going for my pasta. And I like to just take a knife and put it on top of my fresh garlic. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more. To allow that to be enough. Hello, everyone. Okay, this here, we get this garlic up that fell. That pot there, we can ready to saute our vegetables. I also like to take and put in some chicken bouillon for flavor for my pasta. We put the salt. There's our flavor. I also like to add in some garlic. Okay, we're gonna allow that pot there to come to a boil while this one here is already warm. Let's go ahead and let's add in our oil to this pot to be able to saute the vegetables. So we're going in with some olive oil, and I just give it a circle. Okay, if I need more, I can add more at that time. I have in the oven going some Hillshire sausage that will be going into the spaghetti. What we're making homemade fresh garlic bread, and we're making a nice pan of chili cheese spaghetti. Okay. So I'm just over here cutting up my fresh onion. We have our fresh garlic over there. Okay, I have my onion sliced. So we are now getting ready to build our flavor in our pot. Okay, and we're going to start off with the olive oil. I am going in with a, is that a whole or a half? That is a half of white onion. That's a half of white onion. Let me give me a Teflon spoon. I'm going in with my bell peppers. I'm going in with my bell pepper. I have yellow, red, and green pepper. And we're simply going to saute those vegetables. I have the fire on low. I'm going to bring it up just to be able to get a little bit of heat on it. Okay. Now this here is the pot that we're getting to a crisp boil, and then we're going to turn it off so we can go ahead and put the top on that. While we're waiting on that to come to a boil, to be able to add the pasta, we have our vegetables sauteing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on the bread. And I forgot that I had my oven preheating. That handle is hot. Okay. We're gonna saute those vegetables. In there I have yellow bell pepper, red bell pepper, and green bell pepper. Let's go in with some white onion, with some green scallion. Just a little more oil. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to season my vegetables. I'm going in with a little salt, onion powder, garlic powder, a little pepper. This blouse do not want to stay down. I'm going to fix that. So I don't have to keep pulling my shoulder strap up. Okay. So we have seasoned. I'm going to leave that out. We're going to need it. I'm going to leave this out. I'm going to need it. Because after I saute the vegetables a little bit, I'm going to go right on in with my ground beef. And I'm using beef today versus turkey. Y'all keep an eye on that skillet there, that pot that's sauteing the vegetables. I have a hang there. Hold on. Hold the line. Okay, everyone, thanks for waiting. Let's go ahead. And when you have spare time and you're cooking, you always want to go in and make good use of that time. Because while these are sauteing, we could be working on this bread. Okay? We're going to grab a tray. We're going to make our garlic bread. And I just simply start with a French roll. And you'll see, I'm going to cut it right on down the middle. So we are simply going to take and we are going to cut this loaf right down the middle. Gonna give it an even cut. I like to cut mine halfway, and so it don't bend on me. Once I cut it halfway, I go in from this side and cut down to the other end. And that should take you all the way through the middle of your French roll. Okay? When you get there, you're there. Okay, so now that I have both of my sides to my French roll, I'm going in with some butter. And in this butter, there's garlic and herb. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thanks for pulling up. Bear with me and let's make this dinner happen. As I said, I won't be doing a whole lot of talking in this video. I'm basically trying to get to it and let's get this done. We have a late start. There because we're going to need it. That is fresh herb, fresh butter, fresh garlic, and I am going to take and I'm going to kick it up a few notches with just sprinkling some fresh garlic over this bread. Okay? I wanted the smaller pieces, but we got what we got, okay? Now I'm simply just going to sit this to the side so that that can go into the bread naturally. We are sauteing our vegetables. At this point, let's go ahead in and let's give this a look. Okay, our vegetables are sauteed. I am going to now go in with my hamburger meat. And I'm going to go in with 5 pounds at a time. Let's not play with it. Let's just go ahead on and get it done. So we're going to put that on in. In a minute, let me wash my hands. So we're going to season our meat. We're going to season our ground beef now. Okay, let's season this ground beef. May seem like a lot, it's not. Let it cook. I'm gonna put my seasonings back. While I'm here, I am now looking for my vanilla. Looking for my vanilla. Found it. I'm gonna need this vanilla real soon, just stay tuned. I'm working on multiple things right now, and I'm keeping an eye on my pot for my pasta. Fresh garlic going into okay. For some reason that handle is hot. That water is boiling. Now I season at the bottom of my ground beef. I flicker over, and I'm going to season the bottom of my ground beef. Same repeat. I added my garlic last so that it does not have a chance to be at the bottom of the pan and stick and burn and ruin your whole pot. Okay, so we have that going. This pasta water is ready. So we're gonna go ahead and put the lid on there, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in our pasta. I'm only gonna use half of this one. Sometimes I go ahead and I use them both, the full pack, and then I take the other half and I make a cold pasta salad. So you can never have too much pasta. There's always something to do with pasta. Be a little more gentle with my sauce. Bring that fry on. We're not in no rush. We are not in no rush. Okay, what I need to do at this point is I need to add some Italian herbs. While I see that nutmeg, I'm going to also go ahead and bring that down. Okay, so we will need that for our pie pie. Well, actually, it's not a pie. I will be making a pineapple upside down cake. It's what I've been had a taste for. Keep your eye on the pasta. The goal is to get all the pasta in. There's garlic into the water. I do have my beef Hillshire Link in the oven. She is ready. So I will bring her out and then I'll go ahead and I will put my bread in. She's ready. We know that's hot because she's sitting on the back stove. Careful, let's go in with our toast. Gonna sit this to the side so she can cool off and I can then slice her to go into our spaghetti sauce. Okay, so she's hot. I'm looking for a space to put her. Okay. Yes, I have a meat breaker. I don't feel like getting it, so we're gonna make do with what we have. Okay? On top. Okay, let's move this garlic over to the side. I was going to fry my bread piece by piece. Changed my mind, so I don't need that good. Let's get our pot ready for when our pasta is done. Okay? Always make sure you see a space where you're going to put something that's close to coming off of the stove, okay? That way you know where you're going with this. Go back and dry your surface. Okay. So we know that that's going there. So I can go ahead and I can take her and I can send her to the side until that pasta is ready. Let me go ahead and let me bring out my strainer. We're getting everything that we need together beforehand. And we're cleaning as we go. That pasta is boiling up nicely. When that pasta is done, I'm going to strain it and dump it right on into my roasting pan. I don't see my strainer. I don't see my strainer. The cabinet was reorganized and I don't see it. Denise, baby, I need the strainer. Okay, so while I'm waiting on that, let me go ahead on to the next step so that when that's done, that'll be done. Did you say hello?
Hi guys.
Y'all heard it. She said, hi guys. Okay, so we're moving on to the next step. While that meat sauce is cooking, I'm going in now with me a bag of Colossal peel devined with the tail on shrimp, okay? Who else likes shrimp and they spaghetti? So I think I'm just gonna use, well, one thing I don't like when we have leftovers is to go back and they done picked all the shrimp out. And I keep saying to myself, dang, I should have put that whole bag in there. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse these off. Rinsing my shrimp off. I'm leaving the tail on. Yes, leaving my tail on. I like to rinse them till my water come back clear. Okay, so my water has come back clear. Going to now season my shrimp. Okay, and this is what we're working with. So I'm going to go ahead and season those. And this is just some Old Bay. Going on those Old Bay with some garlic. Garlic. That pasta is cooking, baby. She cooking. Okay. So I'm simply going to give these a toss and allow them to sit there and marinate. Just drain all the water off. Make sure that we get all the water off as much as possible. Okay? Then we're just going to sit those there and we're going to allow those to sit there and marinate until it's time. Put those in that pot. Okay? I need to get ready to drain my pasta because remember, we're cooking it al dente, meaning we're cooking it halfway because why? We're going to twice bake it. Okay? So let me get my sink free of bubbles so that I can go ahead and I can drain my pasta. I usually like to take and give my pasta a chance to cook with the top on for a bit. Smells absolutely amazing. Okay, let's check on this. Let's check on this meat. I know y'all tired of me with this strap, and I'm tired of it too. I'm going to drain this and then I'm going to continue to season it with my other herbs, and I'm going to start adding in my sauces so that I can continue to build the flavor on that pot. I really could use some more noodles. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to drain this pasta, okay? I'm going to drain that pasta. I have my little oven mitt. Okay, allow that to continue to cook. And now we are going to drain our pasta, and let me get my pan ready. So once I drain my pasta, I can put it right on into the roaster. Okay, always have a spot where you want to put something when you're cooking and you're removing things. Let's drain this pasta. I drain it and I leave just a little bit of water in the strainer. Going in with some right on top of that pasta. Looking for my parsley. When you don't have a whole lot of time, just get you a little bit in your hand. Just put it on through. Okay? Okay, at this point, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to drain my ground beef as well. And I'm not going to drain all of the fat out. I'm going to leave just a little bit in there. This is the very hot side. So let's drain this ground beef. Okay, I've drained my ground beef and we are now getting ready to build our pot. Okay, I'm going to go in now with my seasonings. While we have that at a boil, I am now getting ready to add in my fresh right into the pot. It kind of looks like spinach. Kind of reminds you of spinach. Being that I have 2 jars, I did one with that top and the other one. I have family members that would go crazy if I threw those jars away. They love their Kool-Aid and ice cold water in these jars. Let me tell you. Okay, so I've added the fresh basil. I've added the sauce. I now need to go in with a can of tomato sauce. Okay, we're going. Tomato sauce in. We can go ahead, we can put the top on while we're getting everything together so it can continue to simmer. I'm gonna go ahead and put the top on. Move her on out the way. And let's bring that bread out. What? Okay, there is that garlic butter and herb bread with fresh butter and fresh garlic added on top in the oven to toast. Okay, she's ready. We are now building our pot with our meat sauce. Okay, so I've added 2 spaghetti. I'm going in now with some crushed tomato sauce. I want that tomato sauce to blend in well with everything else. So I'm gonna put half in now. And I'm gonna put the other half in later. Okay. We can go ahead and add it all now, because we know for sure that we're going to need it. Okay. Gonna give that a good stir. But before we give that a good stir, I'm going to go in, I'm going to add in my spaghetti flavor for my sauce. Being with the amount of meat I have, I'm gonna add in, just add one and let's taste it out. See if I need to. That fresh basil is in there. That fresh garlic, that fresh onion, those fresh bell pepper, red, green, and yellow. Okay, I can definitely go ahead and add in this package as well. Okay. At this time, I'm going to go in with me a little sugar. Going in with a little sugar. Not that much. I'm gonna put the top on it so she don't make a mess, cause baby, she's ready to roll. Okay, guys, there's a few more spices that I want to add into my pasta sauce at this point in time. So give me a minute and let me find them. Oregano. Okay, so I'm going in now with some oregano. I want to make sure that I don't put too much. So I'm just going to put some in my hand, about that much. And we're just going to let that simmer. We're going to let that simmer. I'm going to give my meat sauce a good stir. I want everything to cook in and simmer in together. I have 2 more ingredients, maybe 3 to add in here, but we want to give, and I'm not seeing enough oregano, so I'm going to double back on that oregano, and I'm going to go in with about maybe that much more. Okay, I have fresh basil in there, so I don't need to add any more basil. Y'all see that fresh basil all throughout that pot? That's that fresh basil. Okay, we're gonna let that simmer. And I'm gonna come over here and I am going to work on cutting up my Italian beef Hillshire sausage. I set her over there so she can cool off. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you everyone for coming. Are you guys okay, or should I continue going? Are y'all okay over there, or should I continue? This has been almost an hour video, and let me have a chance to clean up everything a little bit so that you're aware of what I'm doing behind the scene. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slice this beef Hillshire sausage up in small portions, and we're going to add that right to that pot, okay? Okay, we have the shrimp sitting here marinating. After I add that ground, beef Hillshire sausage, I will be adding in the shrimp next, okay? If you hear a bubbling sound, turn it off because it's boiling. It's not simmering. And you don't want your meat sauce to stick, okay? So if you hear a bubbling sound, it's up too high. Turn it down so where it can just simmer. Okay, we're getting the sausage ready to go in, and we're simply just going to go in. That's half of it. Cut the other half. And wow, all these flavors marry together. I am going to go ahead, I'm going to grill my shrimp. Yeah, see, this beef Hillshire, it sometimes can be salty. And I'm glad I tasted it before I added the roux that cooked from the meat in the oven, because I was going to add that. Had I did, my dish would be too salty. The flavor is already there. I like to take it this time and add mushrooms. Kids not crazy about them, so I'm going to skip that part. I am going in now with another half of fresh scallions, green onion. Okay. Going in now with about 3 more cloves of fresh garlic. Why? Because this is an Italian dish. Can y'all see in that pot? Let's see. Let's see if y'all can see all that goodness that's just coming together. That is that meat sauce. That is that meat sauce. Okay, mine went over an hour. Baby, can you come save that live over there for me on TikTok? I don't know what happened, but something happened. Okay, so I'm just going on, I'm cutting up my bread. Cut up one. If we want more later, we can always go back and cut more up. That's that fresh garlic homemade bread. I'm gonna sit this to the side. And I hear that pot bubbling. So what do we do when we hear that pot bubbling? We have to do what? Turn that fire down so we don't burn our mix. You started it back over, baby? Thank you, honey. Okay. I put foil on here, so all I have to do is take this and foil that on up. And that pan is still clean. Okay. So after we get that meat sauce together, all we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to add that meat sauce right on to our pasta. Okay? I'm going to take that top off because I don't want her to overcook. Okay? ahead and we're going to finish this video on up. Not much left to do but to add the last ingredients to the pot. So, we've been this far. Y'all been thugging it out with me. Y'all been hanging it out with me. So let's go ahead on and let's finish off this pot. Okay? Now, I don't want it to go to sleep, but I want it to simmer. Okay? You don't want your pot to go to sleep. Thanks for coming back. My time ran out over here on TikTok. Thanks for coming right back. Okay. I may have to over here on FB. We're getting close to an hour. So if I need to, I'll go out and I'll come back in. Okay? Y'all come back in with me. You want to make sure that your meat sauce does not stick. So you're going to keep an eye on that. And we're going to get on down to the good part. Now this will be the last and final, well let me not say last and final. I'll be always talking about last and final. Then here I go. Adding something else. Okay, so I am going to take my griddle. I'm going to add in I'm going to add some olive oil on there. I don't know if that's a seed or what. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to just take and make sure. Baby, can you turn that air up? Make sure that all sides of this pan is oiled. If that olive oil gets into that pan, that's perfectly okay because that is the Italian pasta, which I will be adding oil to anyway. Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. While we let that griddle get hot and we let that meat sauce cook. Oh, anybody that know me know I absolutely love bread. And it is taking everything in me not to get a bite and a piece of that bread. Let me tell you. Okay, so let me grab the spatula. Okay, so on that griddle we have olive oil. Being that I have enough basil, I am simply going to go and have enough of garlic. So I'm going to go in with some sweet Italian herb paste. Okay? Let me open her up. Okay, right on top of those marinating shrimps and that Old Bay sauce seasoning and that garlic powder. Okay? And they've been marinating since you guys did that step with me. Okay? So we are now going to go to the next step. Okay, let me get rid of some of these wet towels. Okay, we want to make sure that we have our griddle hot. I put olive oil. Before I do that, let me turn my fire down because I know she's hot. Right on top of the shrimp. Right on top of the shrimp. I'm going to go in with some Italian pasta. Okay? And I'm going to give these a good toss. Okay, they've had a good toss. Let's turn that fire on back up. Let her get hot. Keeping your eye on that meat sauce. I low-key want to do me some more pasta because I'm just feeling like that's not enough pasta. But I wind up always feeling like that. Add more pasta, then it'd be too much. So let's see if we need to add more pasta, we can do so. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get these shrimp on this grill. It's hot. As soon as I get these situated, I'm going to give my meat sauce a good stir. She over here talking, baby. She talking. All right, baby. Let's see. My spirit tells me I need a little bit more sugar, but we're going to taste it before I add it. Okay. Let's see if I need any more sugar, guys. I don't need anything. Being that I want something sweet to offset this here spicy shrimp, I'm going to follow my first line. I'm going to go in with just a tad bit more of sugar. About that much. You're going to stir it from the bottom up, making sure that nothing is sticking. That fresh basil. Okay, those shrimp are all flat and they're grilling up. Want some of that moisture and juice absorbed? I'm gonna hit it with a little, matter of fact, I'm gonna go on and hit it right now. Bam, right in the middle with some of that butter, herb, garlic butter. Okay? We're going to go ahead and continue to let that simmer. With any good Italian meat sauce, it's always going to be in the simmer. You're not going to obtain that authenticity of that taste of Italian food without a slow simmer. So I'm going to cover that on back up. It's fine. She's hot. I'm not going to keep playing with her. And I'm simply just going to add, being that I don't have enough space in my pot, I will not be able to add the shrimp into this pot. So what I'm going to do is, once these shrimp have seared, I'm going to place the shrimp on top of the pasta, and then I will add the meat sauce. All right, everyone, stay tuned. Your girl Cooking with Steph will be right back with you. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey, and stay tuned. We will be back shortly. We're allowing the shrimp to cook. Being that these are colossal shrimp, I don't want them to overcook and I don't want them to undercook. Okay, but we know we need at least 8 minutes. At least 8 minutes. Okay. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to do some cleaning up here. I'm going to bring the cheese out so we can get ready to layer this pan. And there's one more ingredient that I want to add to here. And if it's going to be chili cheese spaghetti, where's the chili? Where's the cheese? Stay tuned. Stay tuned, coming right back.